Hi, and welcome to another Type with Me. Today I want to talk about JavaScript's shorthand syntax, some useful tips that I can share with you to write better JavaScript. So back in the days you could find some code that looked like this before ECMAScript 6 was there. We had some sum and you get some arguments, and with the arguments here you can get what is being provided right here. But of course, with the introduction of the spread operator, we can do something like this, and we can then remove this part and do args dot, and this is just the same syntax, right? But a little bit shorter. So if I run this, you will see that we get 60. Another very useful way to use the spread operator is just doing something like this. We have console.log, and then we can do this one, right? We can say we want to have numbers, and then we want to have letters to concatenate two arrays together. Of course, we need to save this, and then we can run this. Now we have concatenate two things together. Another thing that's very useful is we have here a equals 3, b equals 4, and something like this, right? We can do something like this, console.log. Then we have a and something like this, right? But of course we want to have just a comma dot 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 b. Of course this will also give something, right? And here we go. We have concatenated a, which is 3, right? Comma and then some. Cool. So it's to really copy and paste and work together very cool with objects. So the spread operator works very well with the iterable protocol. So everything that uses the iterable protocol is usable within that flow. Set and map is something like that. So if we now do deno run index, you have this following result. Another cool part of the code is the following, right? It's to print page. So we want to give it a default title if there is no title. But if we print this out, we'll see that will give the following results. ID 200 and then title untitled. But we can do it a little bit different, right? A little bit easier to read and nicer to write. So we can say, hey, I want to have page title, and otherwise I want to have that. So if I run this, again I see ID 200, title untitled. But there is a better way. The nullish coalition is a better way. So let me run this again. You'll see again the same kind of results. So you'll think, yeah, why is that the case? Well, you will see that following example will lead to, yeah, you will think it will print out 0, right? But that's not true. it prints out 200 because 0 is also, in his opinion, undefined, and it will just print out 200. And in some cases we don't want that, so we just use this, right? And now it prints out 0 because we already give it the value 0. Another cool thing to show you is this one. It's the same as mat.pow, but just nicer, right? It's a 4 now. Of course you can think, yeah, if we do this, it's also 4. Yeah, it's true. But of course, if we change this to 10, for example, you will see that it will give me 100, right? But if you then do this, you see that it gives me 20. So it's not the same. If we do it like this, it will provide me with this, right? And actually, like I said before, it's just mat.pow, and then you have 2, 10. Actually, it's the same like that. So pretty cool, right? Something to remember. It's not something that also come into the top of my mind, but from ECMAScript 7 we have this function to or this cool syntax into our disposal. So you will see that it also works like other operators within JavaScript. You can very easily do something like this, and then 2 of these symbols equals to, it's a little bit the same like when you would do something like this, right? But with this, right? So it will provide you then with it 4 again. If we do this, then we can go a little bit cooler, right? Right, so another cool thing is that you have task 1, then you have check tickets, the time, yes, me, and then you have task 2, and this has just an ID, a title, and a time. But when we want to say, hey, show me the SNE, then it could be that it gives you an error, right? So if I run it, you'll see, hey, we get an error. One of the things that you could do then is do it like this. You check that task is not undefined, you check that SNE is not undefined, and then you go for name. Otherwise, it will print out undefined, right? So that's a way to erase or not have any type errors, like we have here, uncaught type error. But of course, task or SNE undefined, yeah, that's not readable or not nice to read, right? So if we use what we have learned already before, we can do something like this, which is very cool, right? We can just say, hey, if we have here undefined, then use nobody, right? We could also do it like this. So we can run it again, and then you see here SNE Yoris, SNE nobody, which is again very cool. So another cool thing that I want to show you is deconstructing and having very easily some kind of variables at your disposal. So if I just go right here and I say, okay, I want to have lad, I want to have, for example, title, I want to have time, and I want to have the name, right? So I can do then name, something like that. Of course, I want to print them out. So I'm saying title, time, and then I say name. And then you have, of course, check tickets, which is a title. Then we have time, and then we have our name, which is great, right? But of course, what you could do here is say, hey, I want to have time, but then say something like t. And then we can print out t, because I want to give it another variable, right? So then we get here t, or duration, for example, and then we can change it here to duration. Of course, it's just all the same, right? Another cool feature is with arrays. So you can very easily extract 1 and 2 and then assign it. So if we do now, so if we do it like this, right, you see that we have, of course, 1 and 2, because we also are going to destruct A. We say A, I want to have A and B from there, right? Another cool thing is that we can use the spread operator. We can say, hey, I want to have A, right? A, and I want to have the rest. And then the rest could be also an array of numbers. If we run this, you see here, hey, I have 1, which is 1, and then I have the rest, which is 2 and 10, right? So for me, that's also something very powerful. It's not always that you're going to use that, but in some cases, it can be very useful. So these are my useful tips that I can share with you that JavaScript has as cool, nice features, but that you maybe not know or that you can use. So I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching the whole complete video out. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. And see you next time.